Wait for it.
My name is Syborg, and this is another episode of Break the Silence. I'm going to be honest. Tonight, I would prefer to be silent. We just watched Game 5 of the Boston Celtics, Milwaukee Bucks, where the Bucks took a 3-2 lead, winning 110-107. I felt pain in my life before, many times. The girl I love left me, had jobs not hire me, friends walk out, stub my toe on some doors, a lot of pain. None of it was worse than tonight. I can't describe the feeling of watching the fourth quarter of this game 5 here, where the Bucks won that quarter 33-21. The Celtics played better the entire game, and I kept texting that I was worried because the Celtics couldn't pull it away. They couldn't pull away in the game. Kept feeling like they were about to, and then they couldn't. They were keeping the Bucks within 8 to 12, like couldn't really pull away. And I texted my dad that in the fourth quarter. And then Jaylen Brown hit a couple unbelievable shots, might have been the end of the third actually. And they got an 11-point lead, and at that point you're like, maybe this is the time they start to pull away. And they couldn't do it. Giannis gave you 40 and 11, and if you go back to the last video, which I posted last night talking about this, talking about Game 4, I had said, and I've said it for years, just haven't had these videos for years, but that I've always been worried that the Celtics don't have a closer. And man, oh man, did that rear its ugly head tonight. The Celtics don't have a closer. They don't. And they haven't for so long. Jason Tatum is an awesome player, and every once in a while he gives you a fourth quarter that he just can't miss. And honestly, Game 3 was kind of one of those. But like Al Horford started that, and Jason Tatum got going. Tonight, Tatum kind of tried, but Jason Tatum in the first half as well just kept trying to hit that dagger 3. The Celtics kept, like I was kind of saying, they were trying to pull away, and every time that it felt like they were about to, Tatum would have an open 3 and then just miss it. He shot 2 of 10 in the first half from 3. And if he hits 2 of those, I think the game's over, because I think the momentum would have been so much in the Celtics' favor, and they would have been able to pull away at that point. They just kept the Bucks too close all night. And Drew Holiday was unbelievable in the fourth quarter there. Marcus Smart, God bless him, that was one of the worst last few minutes I can remember. The Celtics can't grab rebounds. I don't know what happened tonight. We couldn't grab any boards. But honestly, what it came down to is Giannis Antetokounmpo is the best player on the planet. I alluded to it in the last video as well, that it reminded me of the LeBron run in the East where he just couldn't be beat. And the Celtics tried to beat LeBron, and now they can't beat Giannis. And I think that's the difference between the Celtics and a championship, is that they don't have Giannis Antetokounmpo. They don't have LeBron James. They don't have Steph Curry. They don't have Kevin Durant. In the NBA, that star power is so important, that your best, it really is unbelievable that a lot of times the best player on the court can almost single-handedly win a series. Now, in cases like the Mavericks Suns, Luka might be the best player on the court, but then by far the second and third best player are Devin Booker and Chris Paul, whatever order you want to put those two in. So in that case, not necessarily the best player wins the series, but a majority of time that's what you see. And if you look at all the champions over the last however many years, you could argue that those are the best players on the planet. You got Giannis, you got I think LeBron the year before in the bubble. You had Kawhi, was unbelievable with the Raptors. You had KD those 2 years before, and then you had Steph and LeBron kind of going back and forth. That's kind of what you see. You need a top 5 guy to win a title, and the Celtics don't have a top 5 guy. I think Tatum's top 10, but he's not top 5. In a future video, I'll go over my rankings as far as where I got him, but this series is over. I hate to say it, but this series is over. I had predicted before the Bucks in 6, and I posted on Twitter, not because I have any Twitter followers, because I don't, but so that it would timestamp when I posted my bracket. And in that bracket, I had the Bucks in 6, I had the Miami Heat, I had the Phoenix Suns and the Warriors all in the conference finals, and it looks dead on the money right now. And unfortunately, that's the opposite of how I would prefer every series to go. This hurts. After this game, I've actually been radio silent for the last hour here. Not responding to texts. I'm not on social media, anything like that. I was texting the whole game, enjoying life, high on life. And then, man, did that bring you back to earth like a ton of bricks. It is unbelievable. We're going into Game 6, and I think it's over. I think Game 6 will belong to the Bucks. If the Celtics bounce back from that, then maybe they are different, but I don't know that. I don't believe they will. The Horford wasn't great tonight. The big adjustment that the Bucks made was they played Bobby Portis in the fourth quarter. I mentioned that in last video that I was pretty surprised that Bobby Portis wasn't playing, and I don't know what the whole thought process there was, because Bobby Portis is potentially your second or third best scorer. Drew Holiday is probably your second guy, but Bobby Portis is the number 3. That final, Giannis had those 2 free throws at the end of the game to tie it up, and he missed a second one. Bobby Portis gets the offensive rebound, puts it back in. Devastating stuff from the Boston Celtics, and I'm curious to see what Ime Udoka says about their performance. He's got to be disappointed. Man, the entire squad's got to be disappointed. This is one of those that I don't know that you recover from in the moment. Like, championship windows in the NBA are so short, and you truly don't understand how short they are until they're over. If you look at the Miami Heat, when LeBron went to South Beach, took his talents there, they had the big introductory press conference where he said not 1, not 2, not 3, whatever. And they had a 4-year stretch where they won 2 titles. They had LeBron, Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh, Ray Allen, snipers everywhere, Shane Battier, and they won 2 titles. KD went to the Warriors, and it was considered potentially the best team of all time. They won 2 titles. These windows are not very long. The Lakers with LeBron again, they've won 1 title, and now this year they didn't sniff the playoffs. If I'm the Sixers, I'm terrified, because I feel like your window with Joel Embiid, an injury-prone big man, playing at this level is not very long. So trading all your future assets for a James Harden who hasn't panned out, if they don't win a title in the next 2 years, they've wasted probably Joel Embiid's whole career. The Utah Jazz had a title window last year. It was their window. They were the number 1 or number 2. They were up 2-1 to the Clippers. Kawhi Leonard gets hurt. and they lose that series, and Chris Paul entered COVID protocol, if the Jazz would have won those games against the Clippers and played Phoenix, Chris Paul would have been out a couple of those. That was the Utah Jazz window to make the finals. That's the NBA. The Utah Jazz are going to blow it up this year. I think the Sixers, I think we'll see in 2 years from now that they'll blow it up. I think Doc Rivers will be fired. Embiid might stay there. You might keep like core pieces, but you're going to have to blow it up. The Celtics, if they don't win this year, when's their window? They had the best defense in the NBA. Al Horford's getting older. You're going to have to start paying guys because you got Jason Tatum on a max deal, Jaylen Brown on a max deal. You paid Smart, Rob Williams. Like you're going to have to pay Grant Williams. I don't know what his contract. He played terrible tonight, by the way. Dribbled off his foot more times than I can count, and I don't know what that was. The Celtics had a stretch in the second quarter where I thought the game was theirs. I really did. And, man, I don't know if I'm going to be able to recover from this. I think I'm probably going to have to go into hiding. Going to have to quit my job. That's the nature of sports. That's the nature of rooting for teams. Unfortunately, all the teams I root for continually do this to me. And maybe one day I'll get to root for a team that's actually worth something, that actually competes for something in my lifetime. I've been a Celtics fan since 2008, when the first game I watched was KG and the Celtics go up against Kobe and the Lakers. And ever since then, the Celtics have not really been worth anything. They've made the playoffs. They're always a somewhat contender, but they're not that real of a contender. That's what it comes down to. The Milwaukee Bucks will close this series out in 6. They'll move on to play the Miami Heat. Sixers are toast. And my prediction is that the Milwaukee Bucks are back in the finals playing against the Phoenix Suns. We'll see what happens over there in the West, but I think that's what we'll see. But I'm not going to get any sleep tonight, but I'm going to go close my eyes and hope they don't open again. All right, well, we'll see you next time. Syborg out.